Cannabis.
Sativa.
Dope.
Indica.
Weed.
Leaf.
This is Leaf Life.
All things cannabis for all people.
Now, here are your hosts, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a free magazine called The Leaf that is available in print in 13 states at your local cannabis retailer and also available online at leafmagazines.com. My name is Mike Ricker, and I'm your host of Leaf Life with my co-host Wes Abney, also known as the Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course, there's Stashley.
The token female.
And Mary J. White.
The smoking female.
In this wild, wild west of the cannabis industry, the race for domination is on. For some companies, developing a name for themselves means staying close to home while building a platinum reputation, craft beer style. But for those with plans of operating in multiple states and winning big, it all starts with the right strategic partner who shares the vision. This is Brand House Bonanza.
The world is yours.
Oh. Donna Montana. It's like a load of my little friend.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that was a Scarface reference.
I know.
Tell him, Wes. And our
Take over the whole world. Weed brands.
Oh, he's
Yes.
Westface. That's Westface. That's
Happening.
different. Yeah. Our first segment, teamwork makes the dream work. Got to have that partnership. And our second segment, designer brands in new markets. How is it going to work? You'll find out in just a sec. But before we get educated, we've got to get medicated. So let's get stoned. Yeah, wherever your day has led you, now it's time to stop, take a breather, take a bong hit, vape cart, whatever. Get the cannabinoids in your system, and let's get the day started on the right, well, maybe it's nighttime, who knows? But let's get the mind in the right space and introduce this show's Greg the Guinea Pig.
Hi, I'm Greg, and Ricker used to try his weed out on me. But now it's someone else's turn to be the guinea pig.
And there she is, Wes, sitting right across from me. It's hard to believe. Superstar in the state of Washington, at least in our minds. She's CHRISTA Dantini, and the media marketing coordinator and sales manager for Minglewood Brands, a successful, probably the most successful brand house in the state of Washington. We're very delighted to have you on. CHRISTA, welcome to the Leaf Life Podcast.
I'm honored, thank you.
Did you hear that, Wes? It's an honor. I think she's listened to the show once or twice. Good. Oh,
That's sweet.
Awesome. All right. Well, you're not going to be getting stoned with us today because you got to go back to the brand house and crush it.
You know, I'm a professional.
We're going to call in a pinch hitter, Stash.
And now, stepping up to the plate, here's today's pinch hitter.
I'm the
Stash.
professional stoner.
Yeah, that's right. It's her job to get stoned. She's in the batter's box. Here comes the pitch. And what do you got, Stash? Well, let's spin Stash's wheel to see what Stash is going to be stashing on Stasher Stein.
Yeah. I got
And
steps.
now, what's in Stash's stash?
Here it comes, Stash.
Will it land on the nug jug, the
Spinsies.
dab saucer, the vape cart, the edible, the infused drink, the inhaler, or the suppository?
Okay.
I'm going to do some edibles.
Yay.
I got some Smokiez live resin fruit chews, and this one's sour passion fruit.
Dude, Smokiez is everywhere.
Pass me one of those.
Wes is like, gimme.
And these are Sativa uplift version, and I love that they have. Smokiez has all these different effects. So they got, sleepy time. You got indica for just getting baked.
Smart.
You got Sativa uplift. You got CBD versions.
Yeah.
Different cannabinoid blends. Smokiez is doing great.
I love sour gummies or chews or hard candies. Sour's my favorite.
And Smokiez is everywhere. In fact, if you're in Alaska, guess what? They're coming to get you.
Boom.
How many states in now, Wes? Like 13? Smokiez? Oh, so we just
They're in a lot.
Take another edible hit, Wes.
And they have a CBD Smokiez.
Awesome.
I believe you can buy on their website.
Okay, so Smokiez, by the way, is spelled with a Z on the end. Okay, if you're out there looking for them, check out that website. And you know what? The way Smokiez, Wesley's got him a freaking edible down the wrong tube. So while the Lorax is getting his Loraxagens on, Smokiez is a company that obviously is expanding and wants to become hey, maybe on some level, I don't want to misquote or anything, the Starbucks of edibles for the United States and beyond. How do you do that? You've got to have partners, strategic partners, like I said, in other states, because the laws differentiate from every state and the regulations are different in every state. And you can't just pop into a new state and launch a new brand and expect to win, especially when there's so much competition in that state. So there are a number of different ways to do it, but one brilliant way to do it is to find the strategic partners which have a brand house which will take your brand and elevate it to where it needs to be in that market. And that means getting shelf space. That means doing the branding and the marketing. What else does it mean, Krista?
It means relationships, just knowing your accounts, your retail partners, knowing what they're looking for, and showing up, doing what you say you're going to do.
So you've got 10 different brands potentially, right? Sure, it's about the relationships and they'll tell you, but differentiation in the cannabis space is not easy.
Right.
As we know, there's an artistic element to it. There's obviously the grow element to it, and cannabis is very difficult to keep consistent from plant to plant, from facility to facility, and you really need to dial it into a pinpointed idea of how you're going to put this brand into the market and have it succeed against so many other brands that are also run really well.
Correct.
So you say it's the relationship, which is true. It's getting to know who the owner is, right? And what their company or their brand is all about, what their mantra is, their mission statement, and understanding that there is an identity to that brand that needs to be explained.
Correct. Yeah. So a lot of people, they have their grow and they're focused on their grow and they have phenomenal weed, but they may need a little bit of extra help developing kind of the story behind their grow. Once they've done that, they come up with, great packaging, a great look, their story for their weed. Then it's more about just having quality, consistent flower and being able to deliver. And Minglewood, what we kind of do is we are a quality checker. So we get the weed in from the grower and we make sure that it's that same quality standard every single time, or else it gets rejected. And that helps the brand, not get kind of emotional about their product and be like, oh, I grow the best weed. I grow the best weed in the state. And even though they have a strain that turned out maybe not so great, we can say, hey, no, actually the store isn't going to be happy with this product. We're going to wait on this and wait until you can harvest something a little bit better.
Quality control, Wes.
And
it's a big deal.
Here in Washington, we have a closed product compliance law. So, in some states you go buy weed, you get to smell it, which is how you really want to buy weed. You want to be able to look in a jar, smell it, let your endocannabinoid system say, this is the terpene blend that, looks good to you today. But in Washington, you don't have any of that. So it takes out that experience of buying weed. So when you do go to the store, you have to trust the brand and trust that they do quality control. Right. And so many brands out there, especially when they're cash strapped or trying to grow, they're top shelf brands. And then when a batch doesn't turn out that great, they still sell it because they have to. And that taints the brand and kind of lowers the value of it. And that's what I love about what you do at Minglewood, because everything through all your different brands is consistently fire.
Yeah, we call it killing the golden goose. When you have a strain or two that turns out kind of wonky and they want to push it out anyways, you know what? You can do that. You'll get sales, and then the sales are going to drop off. And then you're going to be playing catch up for the next couple of months, trying to take back returns, trying to get your name back out there and show the customer plus the buyer and the bud tenders that wasn't my best product. Actually, I'm capable of growing, this type of quality.
First impressions are very important. Winning over customer support is vital. And if somebody spends their hard-earned cash on a product and it's less than platinum, or it's not as good as the last time, guess what? They're finding a new product.
Right.
But if you keep that quality consistent, they'll never go anywhere else.
Well, and I'm wondering, too, do other companies do this? I mean, or is it just you guys at Minglewood?
There's a couple of companies that have multiple brands in-house that they push out. I like to say that Minglewood is the best at what we're doing right now in Washington state market, because we have so many points of quality control and just a great sales team, to be honest. We go out there, we've built relationships, we have a great reputation in the industry, and people trust us at the end of the day. So it's important to just show up, be consistent.
And you guys dealt with cookies for a minute, and we don't need to expound on that or anything, but it didn't work out. So it's not always, a success story.
No, it's not. And we've had other brands too that we've tried out. We've given them a good 6-week run. And if the brand isn't a good partner to us and they don't deliver and do the things that they say they're going to do, then we part ways. And, it's just because we really want to be known for our quality level, our customer service, keep it consistent. Again, it's the same. It's not a special recipe of success. It's just being consistent.
And it's a two-way street too. Between the brands and the farms, like you mentioned, they have to do their part. And, a newsflash to most consumers, when you go to the weed store and you buy XYZ's, weed, chances are they didn't actually grow it. Most of Washington weed, especially in this market, but in other markets too, is repacked. So it's a brand that might grow some of their own weed, but then they're getting weed from other farms and putting it into those jars. And so if there isn't that quality control communication on both sides, it breaks down, and that's how you end up with bad weed.
And you can look into that and research by looking in Washington. We have what's called the seed to sale system. A lot of other states have adopted this, but we have producer processor licenses on every single barcode, on every single sticker that goes on every single jar, every single joint. You can see what the actual farm was that grew it, what they used for pesticides, all the good information right there on the label.
Yep, absolutely. And we have a couple of brands in-house that are outsourced, but the majority of our brands are big brands, the K-Savage, the High Tide. They have their own farm. And if you look at the label and you ever wonder, you can see exactly where the weed came from. It's not being outsourced. It's, grown at their specific farm.
And that's another thing that I love about what you guys do is you have that big facility with multiple licenses in Tacoma. And I've been to the High Tide farm, and they are growing their weed and quality control, checking it on their end and then on your end. And so it's not just like buying random weed from a random farm and then slapping it in your, weed jar, which is a lot of, low to mid-grade brands. They're just repackaging other people's weed without any concern for the quality. And that's why there is such a difference. People hear the word mids and they're like, it kind of sounds snobby. But there is a big difference between cheap weed, average weed, and really fucking good weed. And that's what you guys do, and that's what makes a successful brand.
Thank you.
And there will always be people who want that Budweiser level cheap brand, but it's not what you brag about. It's not what you bring out to smoke with friends.
Yeah.
It's not what gets you excited.
Well, in the second segment, we'll talk about expansion and finding the right partner. But first, it's time for you to play Who Said What, Krista?
Now, just to clarify.
What? Who said that?
Let's find out.
What? Who said that?
Who said what?
That's a who said.
All right, Krista, you ready to have some fun?
Always.
That's my girl. I'm going to give you a quote, and you have to tell me which celebrity said it. The three celebrities are Donald Trump, Will Smith, and Richard Nixon.
Oh, boy. There's a lineup.
I'm ready.
Okay, number one, quote. If it was something I really committed to myself to, I don't think there's anything that could stop me from becoming president of the United States.
Donald Trump.
That's incorrect. That was Will Smith who said that. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Will.
And I thought I just wanted to slap Nixon.
All right. Number two. If the president does it, that means it is not illegal.
Oh, Donald Trump.
That's incorrect. That was Richard Nixon.
That's going to be my answer for every single one of these.
No, he said that.
And number three. My fingers are long and beautiful, as it has been well documented, are various other parts of my body.
Ew.
Definitely Donald Trump.
That's right. She got one right, Mary.
Stormy Daniels would have something to say about.
I believe she said the opposite.
Yes, I think so.
Hey, if you're looking for more Leaf content, just log into leafmagazines.com, where you'll find cannabis news, reviews, entertainment, and culture. And also, that is where you'll get an extensive library of past Leaf Life shows, including 1 through 179. Coming up in part 2 today, we'll explore how designer brands will make a difference in new markets. And we'll get another spin of Stash's wheel and kick it all off with another episode of Not for Nothing. Leaf Life continues in just a sec.
Your hosts for Leaf Life are Mike Ricker and Wes Abney. Leaf Life is produced by Mike Daly. Some of the music heard is provided by purple-planet.com. Every bit of cannabis you use is female, so please respect the ladies.
Leaf Life is brought to you by Leaf Nation, featuring Alaska Leaf, Oregon Leaf, Northwest Leaf, Northeast Leaf, Maryland Leaf, Amsterdam Leaf, and California Leaf. On the shelf now in your local retailer.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. There may be health risks associated with consumption of this product. For use by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children.
Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker Wes's sick lids, is provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.